Yo, what's good? It's your boy Mixtape Moth, and today I'm gonna hit y'all with a review of the new Ransom EP entitled Se7en. Let's get to it. Alright, so Ransom is an elite level MC coming out of Jersey City. Now, he might not have all the commercial accolades of some of his peers, but Ransom is one of the most respected lyricists in the rap world. If you know, you know. So after having an MVP worthy 2020, Ransom is back with his first project of the year, which is a conceptual EP entitled Se7en. And this project finds Ransom exploring the 7 deadly sins. Now, whether you are religious or not, it is hard to deny the role that these 7 vices or negative patterns of behavior can play on our daily lives. Some of these vices might seem innocuous, or they may not strike us as overtly bad, like let's take sloth or gluttony, for instance. Some days you may just want to sleep in and eat a bunch of food. Now, every now and then that's cool, but if you're not careful, it can become a pattern, and that pattern can lead you to slip up in the other areas of your life. And Ransom is approaching these 7 deadly sins from the perspective of a hustler on the streets, a place where the evils are a little more prevalent. You know, like that old Jay-Z line said, I'm a block away from hell. So Ransom is touching upon the 7 sins that can trip us up and swallow us whole if we're not being mindful. So he's offering up a lot of cautionary game and speaking in parables a lot on this project. But this EP contains 7 tracks and lasts 22 minutes. In terms of features, we are getting Royce da 5'9", Lloyd Banks, JR, and 9 Wolf. As far as the production goes, Ransom enlists a variety of beat makers. Now, in 2020, all his projects were produced solely by Nicholas Craven. However, on this new EP, Nicholas Craven only contributes 1 beat. The remaining producers are 38 Special, V Dawn, Lord Sear, Chup the producer, and Ransom himself. But with that being said, let me go ahead and hit y'all with this track by track breakdown. The opening track is Envy, produced by Nicholas Craven. It has an attractive soul sample. Now, Nicholas Craven does have a knack for finding these obscure soul loops that fit with Ransom's sound. On this one, Ransom speaks on the various ways that envy can pop up to destroy the lives of aspiring young hustlers. Riding shoddy is my homie. In the future, he'll probably try to kill me, but presently that thought I find is silly. Because who wants to think that their right-hand man could possibly contribute to their own demise? It's just an unpleasant thought for people to have to wrestle with. He goes on to state, see who will laugh when you on top and you finally slip up? Why should you keep a dude down that you could finally lift up? Your brother came to you and said he gonna need him a quick plug. You denied him, and then he watched you throw ones in the strip club. Damn, hate in his eyes while you showing this bitch love. These are small problems that can turn to major ones, but you might not see it if you are deep in the game and everything is coming at you real fast. But I thought this was a really dope opener, and the production did give me some Jay-Z American Gangster vibe. Track 2 is Gluttony featuring Lloyd Banks. This has a foreboding piano beat produced by V Dawn. It gives off a dark medieval sound. Both Ransom and Lloyd Banks flow remarkably over this eerie production. Ransom wisely raps, fools will learn from mistakes, a genius learn from mistakes of others. Devastation, every phrase I utter shakes the gutter. Said to Se7en, wait for supper. Whoever don't get a plate will suffer. I feel Banks' gritty voice sounds great on top of this arrangement, and he comes through with a dope verse. Few collisions, spinning blocks for superstition. Jake popped out, the coupe went missing, veteran. These fucking babies need supervision. I don't know what's worse, the bullets or food prescription. Track 3 is Greed, produced by Lord Sear. Now you are getting a smooth horn loop with minimal percussion. It's kind of a mix between the background music you might find in a Spike Lee flick and, let's say, a 70s blaxploitation film. So this track has been one of the most talked about on the album, and that's due to the Royce verse. In my opinion, Ransom's verse was stellar, don't get it twisted, but Royce did come through to show off, and as a result, he did kind of steal the spotlight from Ransom somewhat. But Ransom cleverly raps, try not to oblige when you hear Greed talking. I'm Frank White, it's no plea bargain, king of my city. I'ma serve every damn fiend that I see walking. The wordplay that he used here was all related to Christopher Walken and the movie King of New York, so I thought that was pretty slick. However, I suppose one could argue that Royce gave us a 5 mic verse. I mean, he appeared to just body bag this beat. Now, I will say it's a lot to digest and not the easiest verse to decipher entirely, but he cleverly name drops a lot of folks. He vents on the current state of the rap game and also provides some sharp social commentary. He says, Bahamadia or Heather B, every queen should never have to question her pedigree. That's Kevin Samuels. So he's praising two underrated female MCs from the 90s while calling out the relationship coach Kevin Samuels for his alleged misogyny. Also, Royce states, "You not a real goon, fam. You never got to pass. You not a real doom, fam. You never copped the mask. Been two-stepping since Jay-Z was yelling holla back. Produced records for Shady, but never got the plaque." So who do y'all feel had the best verse? Let me know in the comment section. Was there anyone that chose Ransom? Just curious. Next is Wrath, produced by Chup the Producer. This contains a rock-tinged beat. The electric guitar riff sounds a bit Griselda inspired. Although I don't think it's executed as well as if Derringer or Alchemist was on the boards. Yeah, I've kind of gone back and forth about this beat. On one hand, I do like the oppressive and haunting sound that it evokes because it does tie into the theme of wrath. But I also think something is missing, as I entirely don't love the beat either. I think it's just okay. Now, this record deals with the emotions, thoughts, and feelings of anger, hate, rage, revenge, and brutality. Now, these are all emotions and feelings that, if go unchecked, can lead to one's demise. I mean, you have to look where that hot-headed mentality got Tony Montana in the end. And who prevailed? It was the cool and calculating Sosa. This also made me think of a big pun line. The streets are full of surprises. It's not what crews the livest. The one that survives is who's the wisest. And Ransom wisely raps, this is how the streets will defeat you. They say money talks, but then when it speaks, it's deceitful. I also liked his Richard Pryor reference in the second verse with corny dudes disguised as hustlers and brick buyers. Forget priors. I'm gonna be richer doing this stand-up shit. Don't slit your wrists. I ain't finished torturing liars. Yeah, I thought overall the lyrics were excellent, but the beat was just okay. Track 5 is the Ransom and 38 Special produced Lust. This contains a very smooth soul sample with the chipmunk vocals. There's an 80s R&B flavor going on here, as you could envision Nas and AZ floating on this. There's also something about this beat that reminds me of the 38 Special song with Shay Noor. I believe it was called Interstate 38, but you know, something real smooth and fly to ride out to. Ran opens with, I gotta hear all these escapades at the oven. Imagine every story portraying something you wasn't. This is obviously a shot at the rappers who pretend to be kingpins over the stove. Ransom also talks about a cousin who betrayed him over drugs, but he was able to get past it and forgive since he found some level of peace. There is an outro to this where an artist named Nine Wolf does some auto crooning over a melodic, atmospheric instrumental. It does sound really current, trendy, and a bit Drake inspired. It was something I didn't really expect to hear on a Ransom album, but it was smooth, so I wasn't mad at it. I'm just curious to see if this artist will appear on future Trust projects, or was this a one and done kind of thing. Track 6 is Sloth, produced by Chup the Producer. This has a dark and mysterious beat. There's a chilling vocal sample as well. As far as the production goes on this project, this is probably my second favorite beat. This one, of course, deals with sloth, also known as laziness or apathy. You know, they say an idle mind is the devil's playground. Therefore, we should take heed to CeeLo's advice and get up, get out, and get something. I like the rhyme scheme Ransom uses here, which involves words that rhyme with reflection. Know the lessons, how you handle your liquor when holding weapons. I done took this hoodie off and the villain's my own reflection. There's such a sinister tone to his whole delivery. It fits perfectly with this mystical beat. This also contains a verse from JR, who is Ransom's artist. I think he came through with a decent verse as a few lines popped out. Juvenile, just so you understand, I give you slow motion. Flows colder than ice rinks in Nova Scotia. Most omens be right under your nose and you won't notice. Once broken, trust can cause a division, a gross quotient. Then the project wraps up with Pride, a self-produced track that dropped earlier in the year on the Griselda Conflicted soundtrack. The sample and lyrics are still the same, but it seems like they adjusted the levels to make things sound a little cleaner and more professional. Now, had I not played this song so many times earlier in the year, it probably would have been one of my favorites on the record, but you know how that goes when you hear a song a lot way before an album. Overall, I give this project a rating of a light to decent 4 mics, anywhere between a 4 and a 4.2 for me at this moment. With Ransom, you know the lyrical content is going to be a strong suit, and as expected, he did not disappoint. I like how this project was conceptually focused. The 7 deadly sins theme itself was very thought-provoking and educational. I feel like he was giving us some deep streetwise psychology. The features were also very impressive. It was good to hear Lloyd Banks outside again, and the Royce verse was something special. In terms of the production, I feel it was a little more varied than his 2020 projects with Nicholas Craven. I liked how there was more of a drum presence on these beats. The only instrumental that I thought could have been better was Wrath, but I dug all the rest. At the moment, I'd say this project is on par with his 2020 releases, although one of these days I wish Ransom would come through with a 10 to 12 track project. Now, I realize he did this back in the day, but anymore it's the 5 to 7 song EP. But I'll be on the lookout for his up and coming collaborative project with Big Ghost, as well as his Pete Rock album. Hopefully both come out sooner than later. My favorite tracks include Envy, Gluttony, Greed, Lust, and Sloth. Let me know what you thought about this project in the comment section below. It's your boy Mixtape Moth. I'm signing out, but be sure to hit that like button and please subscribe. As always, it's peace and blessings. Ransom 7-1.